The low quality in my videos is because if I don't need to upgrade, I won't. I don't need to. Everything that I need it to do is being done. And if it's not aesthetic, I don't really care about that. I think we put too much emphasis on the way something looks rather than the quality of the content, and not just media, just in general. Like, why do you think most of the stuff that we purchase now doesn't last? It's for a reason. That's not why I'm back again. I've been summoned because I've been summoned because today I had the absolute pleasure of watching Princess Mononoke. Please forgive me if I mispronounced that. It is a Studio Ghibli movie, and I confess, I was a big Studio Ghibli hater a couple years back. I didn't understand why it fascinated so many people, and I didn't give it a shot to convince me otherwise, to allow that space to make me reflect on my stance. I was just a big hater overall. I hated on a lot of stuff. So I've been watching Studio Ghibli movies. The first one I liked was Howl's Moving Castle. Just because a lot of the themes in the movie resonated with me. So I just, gave it another shot. So this morning, or this afternoon, morning/afternoon, I watched it, and it just got me to reflect on something that's been on my mind lately, and then just throughout the day, like, I've just been, I guess you could say, like, receiving confirmations of the patterns that I'm seeing in the movie. This dude, he's a prince, and he gets injured by this boar that has become a demon. Like, he's filled with anger and hate, and the boar dies, but like, it curses the prince, and so his village banishes him because I don't know, something about, like, I think the woman, like, that told him that he had to leave, it almost was like their version of a medicine woman, and it was almost like she predicted something for him, but it came in the guise of an unfortunate event. They told him that he was going to die and that she couldn't do anything to save him, but that in his final moments of life, he can try to go out and, like, something about seeing things without hate or something like that. So he goes on this journey, he meets people, comes across things, and basically he stumbles across this, like, village that is, like, at war with the animals in the forest. And for some reason, like, there's another group of people that want to kill the spirit of the forest because they think that if they kill it, they'll get immortality. Why you would want that is crazy. I don't know why you would want to be in your physical body forever. Wild stuff. But anyway, so he goes out there, and it comes to be a spoiler. I'm gonna ruin the movie, I'm sorry. That they chop off the spirit of the forest head. And the thing is, the spirit doesn't die. It rots and kills everything that it touches because it's searching for its head. And everything gets destroyed. And it just made me think about how, like, oh, and then something else, another thing that came up is the animals that were on the verge of death but were filled with hate became demons. So they were gods, and once they are filled with hate, they become a demon, and they're like festering with like disease and decay and rot, and like it's just intense. It was very interesting to me to see the parallels of what's happening right now. Change is happening, right? It is the end of something. And something I came to understand is that you can't go back in time. You have to move forward, and your resistance to that forward motion is purged out one way or another, whether you want to or not. Whether it's willingly you do something about it, or something happens and you have to do it. Letting go and the shedding and the detachment is non-stop. And I wake up every morning knowing that there is another layer to go through. And it's not that I'm trying to make myself better. It's that purging that just naturally happens. And it's that, like in the movie, that disconnect in your search to find you. It will destroy things along the way. It has to. Once the spirit is given its head back, it becomes whole again, and it becomes a very peaceful entity, and it goes back to the forest, and it brings life back to everything. Everything begins again. The change is not the enemy. It's not something that we have to fight. It's something that we have to flow with. And you have to allow for things to burn away, fall away, crumble. You have to let it go. And that includes the anger and the hate that festers inside of you. Yes, use your anger and your hate. Don't deny it if you feel it. But ask yourself where it's coming from and what you're going to do with it. Because you're willing, you are capable of doing many things with that sort of energy. and you need to purge it out for sure. But there are constructive ways to do it, and there are destructive ways to do it. It's not good or bad, you just make a choice. Initially, I chose the destructive path, and it did what it had to do. Until I realized that the next natural step was to start rebuilding. There was nothing more to destroy. It was time for me to start building. It was time for me to start creating with what was left over, which was a lot, right? And you take a look at like when a volcano erupts, it destroys everything. But the destruction allows for the nutrients to return to the soil, and it becomes this like abundant place of growth. Plants start sprouting like crazy because the soil has become so rich with nutrients because of the destruction of the volcano. There are things that are meant to be lost because there are other things that are waiting to be found. Letting go is hard. Letting go is so hard. But it's the peace that comes afterwards that you're just like, okay. And I ask myself, like, how do I know I'm doing the right thing? Like, and there, for me, like, there's just no such thing as good or bad or right or wrong. It's like, what is the choice that I am meant to do? Like, what is the next step that I'm meant to take? It feels peaceful. That doesn't mean that it won't be scary. It's that in my body, I feel a stillness. In me, I feel strength. I feel determined. I feel powerful. And that's how I know that I'm doing what I need to do. Every day is a new journey. Even when I go to sleep, that is it's a whole nother journey that I have to go through as well. I'm hoping that I hit all of the points I wanted to. All of these thoughts came to me when I was showering. It always happens in the fucking shower all the time. It must be the water, I don't know, the cleansing. For me, showering is a very intense ritual. And I'm so abundantly grateful for clean running water. You're very, very, very blessed to have access to that. So, right now is very scary because there's a lot of things happening that we've never experienced, and like we'll read about it in history books. These things happening already in the past, like it's already been done, and you're like, why is this shit happening again? It's kind of the same thing as the inner journey that you take. Whatever's happening inside of you, it exists outside of you as well. So for me, to solve the problems outside, I have to go in. I have to go within. And I confess, I did a lot of drugs because I wanted to figure that shit out, and I wanted the easy way. I wanted the easy way. I thought if I could just numb everything, it would just magically get resolved. But because I don't know, a specific kind of breed, even when I tried to numb things, like, it just never happened the way I wanted it to. Something always popped off. And I'm thankful for that. You know, thank goodness. But I'm every day, every morning, and at night, and throughout the day, continuously remind myself to surrender. Continue to surrender. That doesn't mean that you give up. That doesn't mean that you let all of this stuff bring you down, and that's not what I mean. The surrender is to surrender means that you stop running from the things that you're feeling, and you sit down with it. You face it. You talk to it. You give it the space. And then you listen. You listen and you feel, and then you act. That last part is very important, the action. Sometimes the thing to do is nothing, and that's also a lesson I've had to learn. Sometimes the silence does more than words. You have to know when to speak and when to be silent, when to act and when to rest. That's discernment. The discernment is not like some mystical thing. It's inside. The last thing I would like to point out that also the movie reminded me, you know, that connection. That connection that we need to rekindle within ourselves. For me, it came from, how can I say it? I don't belong to any religion. I don't believe in religious institutions. I think religious institutions, their purpose is to gather power and control over groups of people. What they originally started off as, that was it. What it became is not its true essence anymore. But the bits and pieces from each, you know, you collect them and they all just fit together. What I've connected to is ancient. It's older than any of these religions, older than humanity. It's not an alien. It's something very, very old. It does not have a form. It doesn't have a name. And in order for you to connect and to listen, you have to know how to be quiet. So this has gone on for a very long time. I usually like to keep it short. This one decided to be a little bit longer. In conclusion, Studio Ghibli's all right. I watched another movie. It was about some dude that made airplanes, and like he fell in love, but the girl was dying. and she died. That shit was sad. But that happens. Because that's the universe that we live in. The body dies. But energy cannot be created or destroyed. And everything and everyone in this universe is made of energy. So there. Good night.